Hey everyone, you're getting this very flattering angle of me here. I have to say, I was never self-conscious about my face. I know I'm not a looker or anything, but I was never self-conscious about my face and the defects in my appearance until the internet. And since the internet, it's sort of had an effect on me. It's sort of eaten away at my former confidence. So it has that way of doing that to people. Even people like me who never really put that much stock in my appearance, I now sort of think, So, anyway, I'm going to forge forward here and talk about what I'm going to talk about, which isn't entirely unrelated. I have before me the lyrics to the song "Waitin' for My Dearie." This is a song from the musical Brigadoon, which, when I'm guessing it was released in the 40s or 50s, maybe. Maybe it was on Broadway around that time. I was in a high school production of Brigadoon way back when. I did some musical theater in my youth, and it did not turn me gay. So there's that. But anyway, the lyrics of this particular song just really struck me. Now, just to let you know, this Scottish setting, Brigadoon, is this magical town that only appears once every 100 years or something like that. That's not really so important. But just to explain the slang that's used here, the terms like laddie or lassie, it's because this is a Scottish song. So this is the female lead of Brigadoon. Her name is Fiona, and she's holding out for her perfect man. She's not going to settle for anything less than the man that she thinks of, that she when she sees him, she'll know, this is my dearie. And when I remember being in the musical, in this production in high school with everything that was going on, and hearing this song, it was sort of like, this is like a sappy song. I don't really care, blah blah blah, whatever. Looking back now, the lyrics really do strike me. They really should. They really do strike. They will strike you as well. Let me just start. And if you want to hear it performed, I'm sure you can by just typing in the song, the title, and on the YouTube search engine. So the lyrics go: many a lassie, as everyone knows everyone knows, will try to be married before 25. So she'll agree to most any proposal. All he must be is a man and alive. I hold a dream, and there's no compromisin'. I know there's one certain laddie for me. One day he'll come walking o'er the horizon. But should he not, then an old maid I'll be. Foolish ye may say, foolish I will stay. So let's just review what we've read so far. What world is this, right? Maybe you're thinking that. Is this bizarro world? Many a lassie, as everyone knows, will try to be married before 25? Boy. Not in this reality. Not in 2024 America or West or the Western world. That's certainly not happening in these parts right now. But that was like so much a part of the reality at the time that it was like a fait accompli. It was just like, and she's making an observation here. Yeah, a lot of young women will do this. They just want to get married. They don't want to get passed over. They don't want to become an old maid. So they'll agree to most any proposal. All he must be is a man and alive. Can you imagine that? I mean, imagine that kind of world where a young woman, say 23, 24 years old, thinks, oh boy, I'm on the edge of becoming an old maid. You sir, you'll do. You can be my husband. Yes, you can be my husband for life. I mean, I know this is not perfect. This kind of world, when things happen in this way, but I would venture to say it's better than the world we have now, where young women are told, "Don't you dare get married until you're like 38. Put your career first, and that's what really matters is your job. You can't just want to be a wife and a mother. That's degrading to your gender." But anyway, so Fiona's different though. She says, "I hold a dream and there's no compromising. I know there's one certain laddie for me. One day he'll come walking o'er the horizon, but should he not, then an old maid I'll be. Foolish ye may say, foolish I will stay." So she's the rare case of the woman who has her set sight on something higher. She doesn't just want to marry any man who will agree, who proposes to her. She wants to marry a man who she recognizes as her dearie. I don't think there's anything crass here. I don't think she's not a gold digger. I don't think we should, think of her in those terms. It's just more like, no, I'm not going to just take any old guy. He's got to be the one that I recognize as my dearie. But she's the unusual one here. In the society that she's a part of, which is a reflection. I mean, of course, the play takes place in Brigadoon, which is this fictional, little town in old-timey Scotland. But what she's saying here is a reflection of what the culture was like at the time when the play was written. Okay, reading on. "Waiting for my dearie, and happy am I to hold my heart till he comes strolling by. When he comes, my dearie, one look and I'll know that he's the dearie I've been wanting so. Though I'll live 40 lives till the day he arrives, I'll not ever grieve. For my hopes will be high that he'll come strolling by. For you see, I believe that there's a laddie weary and wandering free, who's waiting for his dearie, me." So again, she wants she doesn't want to settle for any old guy. She wants somebody that she really feels that spark with. I think it's fair to say she's a romantic, or whatever. She doesn't say he has to have, he has to have a six-pack or anything like that. But he has to be the one for her. But she has to recognize that he's the one for her. So this is what you call one-nightists today. This is an instance of that. So then the first girl says, "What do you do when you're waiting around for your lad to come your way?" Fiona answers, "Well, when no one is looking, you kneel on the ground and you pray and pray and pray." So she believes in the power of prayer. That's good. Second girl, "But when lassies sit and have no men, oh, how long becomes the night?" Then Fiona answers, "But I fear the night is longer when the lad's not right." So imagine imagine girls having these kinds of objections today. How could you just wait around? Time is running out. You don't want to be an old maid. You've got to choose somebody. Like Rick Springfield says, several decades later. You better love somebody. It's late. You know. And then the second one says, "But when lassies sit and have no men, oh, how long becomes the night." I mean, like this in this age of, I'm an independent woman, I don't need no man. You know, of women being encouraged to be disdainful of men, to be disdainful of the notion that of wanting to have a man around, all the misandry that filters into women's attitudes today, because it's part of the propaganda that's out there. It's part of this vile package of propaganda that they shoot at us from all directions, and so they imbibe it. But these girls are saying, you know, we want a man around. They'll be lonely without a man. I mean, can you imagine that, guys? Can you imagine a woman saying, you know, I'd be lonely without, you know, I'd really like to have you around because I'd be lonely without you. Men don't hear that very much these days. Okay. So there's not much more to the song, really. Waiting for my dearie is sweeter to me than wooing any laddie on the lea. I don't know what the lea is. I guess that's just like settling for whoever's out there. You know, just flirting with a guy who's okay looking and you know, not doesn't seem like a bad guy, rather than sticking around waiting. So, like, what we see here is, I guess, a sort of instance of hypergamy, but in this case, the hypergamous woman, the woman who will not settle for any old guy. In this case, in the world of this play, she's the exception to the rule. And most of the women around her, like she says, try to be married before 25. Now, maybe somewhere between this world and the world we've got, where the vast majority of young men are being ignored, if they're not in the top 10, you know, the high echelon of status and wealth and so forth, and looks and so forth. Maybe somewhere in the middle would be good. You know, I'm a radical only because we live in a time of where things are radically wrong, and so a radical change, any change to a radical world, strikes the people who have grown accustomed to the radicalness, to the nefarious radicalness, to the radicalness of the world that is not good or healthy. You know, that strikes them as, whoa, that's way out there. That's beyond the pale. You want a world where, you know, girls are interested in men, not just oh yeah, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be this, he's got to be that. You know, the Meghan Trainor crap. But you know, where the norm is not a girl like Fiona who's holding out for a hero, so to speak. You want that? That's just radical. You're just a reactionary. You know, whatever. Everything is relative. You know, if the times are radically wrong, then it's okay to be a radical in the opposite direction. But I don't think things need to move all the way back to this, where women feel a pressure to get married before they're 25 necessarily, but maybe a little bit more of this and a little bit less of what we've got going right now would be good. What do y'all think? Let me know in your comments below. Thanks for watching.